Hello, nerds! Thank you for joining me here on Nerd News Clips. This is the second channel. This is the place for all of the short form content as well as the individual sections and just generally speaking smaller things. If you are into the longer form content, youtube.com/generallynerdy is the place to go see that. With that out of the way, let's get into this. All right, so TV streaming. Like I said, we have a lot of trailers to talk about because New York Comic Con is a thing, and TV streaming, I think, is probably about 60 to 70% of the trailers of which I speak. So without any further ado, we got, let's get some That Just Happened action out of the way. First up, I have watched the first episode of Midnight Club. Mike Flanagan can kind of do no wrong with these series, man. Like, I think Midnight Club might be one of the weaker presentations that he's put forward, but that being said, it's still head and shoulders above almost every other horror series out there. This is good stuff, man. Flanagan knows what his audience wants and knows how to give it to them and knows when to subvert that. So I can't wait to finish this series. Like, I'm kind of slow dripping the binge because I want it to last as long as I can. Probably will finish it by Halloween, but either way, good stuff, that Midnight Club. Mike Flanagan in general. Next, we have Interview with the Vampire episode 2 also digested, and episode 3 has come out. I just have yet to watch it. Episode 2, though, kind of addresses the issue that we talked about in the last episode with how Anne Rice kind of presents her vampires in the book as far as how they present themselves sexually, right? So that's kind of a dramatic departure, or so I thought when we only had seen the first episode. So episode 2, there is a very distinct line from Lestat, though it's still not 100% where it should be according to the lore of the books. Lore of the books, not the be-all, end-all. It's not the Bible, right? So, like, it's not 100%. It doesn't have to be that way, but that's just where it's coming from. So, Lestat pays homage to that, at least, because he when referencing his sexuality, he says, "Oh no, I'm gonna forget the line. Non-discerning," I think is the way he put it. So, just kind of whatever comes, whatever works is where he goes. Whereas it's still kind of missing the point in that the vampires fall in love with beauty and not with gender or sex at all, because they can't have the sex until the last 2 books in the series, which are ages and ages beyond where we are right now with the TV series. So again, still kind of missing the point, but at least addressing the fact that it's different, and paying lip service, if nothing else. So appreciated coming from a fan of the series, definitely. And also the TV series, for all of its differences, I think is potentially that much stronger than the book series even. So yeah, we're going to just keep going down that road. House of the Dragon episode 8. I read a lot of mixed reviews about episode 8 for House of the Dragon. This is the one, we had another time jump. It was another 10-year gap, and I don't know how much I'm going to spoil by talking about this, so kind of warning, I guess, but we have the death of a main character, and man, it was really slow to get to the point. I will definitely offer that up. But once it got there, once you saw where this was going, once you saw the tenacity that King Viserys had, even in his old age, even in his sickness, he still had this tenacity to try and keep things together, to try and be the peacemaker in his family. Once you get to that point, it starts to get really heavy. And the way this episode ends is going to be the subject of debates for months to come, I'm sure. for cons to come. We're going to be talking about this at Comic-Con for years and years, is what exactly is Viserys saying on his bed at the end of this episode? There is the interpretation, if you watch through all of the extras after the episode, there is the interpretation of the director and the showrunner. But there's also, they leave a lot open-ended, so you can have your own interpretation of it too. I just think that was super effective. I wish they had gotten to the point a little bit faster, and I really don't appreciate that we are going to have another large time jump. And then we get George R.R. Martin coming out saying that between seasons is going to be even bigger time jumps because it has to, because the way the anthological nature of this story, it takes place over the course of thousands of years, the book does. So apparently the series has to as well, which again, you get into the argument of respecting the source material versus doing your own thing. And if you're doing your own thing, why don't you just call it something else? So like, it's kind of muddying the waters, but I feel like each series could have been one age of this season so far, or season rather. Each season could have been one age so far that we've addressed now 3 different ages in this series in the first season. So I feel like there is 3 seasons worth of material that they're trying to cover in 10 episodes, and that's just, it's not working as well as it should. I think it's definitely working better than Rings of Power over on Amazon Prime, but that's not really saying a whole lot. That's not a very high bar to be setting. So I don't know. I dig it though. I'm finally really getting into it again. I was really getting into it before the first time jump, and then we got the time jump and lost a lot of momentum, and now we've built up some momentum, but now it seems we're going to see another time jump. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, that is kind of what just happened as far as TV streaming goes. So let's get into follow-ups, and we do have a few of those. First up, we have Agatha. House of Harkness is no more. Again, hyperbole. We have the subtitle has now been changed to Coven of Chaos. So it is Agatha Coven of Chaos, not Agatha House of Harkness. It is slated now also for a winter release sometime next year. So very potentially the end of 23, or also almost as likely the beginning of 24, because all of that is still wintertime. So that is what we've got on that. Next is Winchester's. We have a casting announcement for the Supernatural prequel series, and that is Tom freaking Welling. That's right. Clark himself from Smallville has been cast as Samuel Campbell. For those of you who are unfamiliar or don't really know why that name is relevant, Samuel Campbell is Mary Winchester's father. I don't know that this is going to save this series. There has been a lot of pressure put on the existence of this series. The Winchesters is supposed to keep the Supernatural franchise alive, according to some news outlets, and I don't think that that's going to be how it plays out. I think we'll get 2 seasons of the Winchesters, but I don't think it's going to go beyond that, because the existence of the let's rephrase that. The way they're approaching the mythology of the Winchester family is wrong to start. That is the basis of this series, is wrong already. Because we learn very explicitly in the Supernatural series that John Winchester, the father of the boys, husband to Mary, whom we spoke of just a moment ago, is not a hunter of the supernatural stuff until after Mary's death. He didn't even know that Mary herself was a hunter since she was a teenager, presumably. I don't know that we get the specifics of when Mary became a hunter, but we do know that Mary comes from a family of hunters. So the more compelling version of this story, very potentially, was we have John and Mary Winchester, who are newly found couple. They meet, and boy meets girl, and kismet and whatever. And then Mary is the hunter in the scenario, trying to hide her life as a hunter from her husband, John. that would have been, honestly, they would have kept the lore, the established lore intact, and also would have been super dynamic and probably very interesting, and the fans would have eaten that up. But this, having John learn what Mary is almost immediately and that stuff, I don't know, the community is definitely split, I guess is a fair way to put that, but I don't think it's an even split. I'm pretty sure most of the fans are not going to watch this because it's based on broken mythology. So that's my 2 cents. I know we spent a little bit of time on that and we've got a lot to get through, so let's keep moving, shall we? Next is Fall of the House of Usher. Mike Flanagan was talking about it in a panel this weekend, and he says that it is going to be either spring or fall of 2023 will be when we get the next horror series from the master of Netflix horror himself. But there was also at some point during this conversation, somebody mentioned March specifically. So either it's going to be sometime in March or just sometime spring to fall. We don't know just yet. But yeah, our next piece, going from that, we have The Devil in White City, the series based on the novel that was supposed to be starring Keanu Reeves, is no longer going to be starring Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves has had to pull out. I was unable to find out exactly why. Very probable it's scheduling issues because, I mean, Keanu Reeves is a very busy man these days. Very potentially also contract disputes and whatnot. But yeah, it seems that Keanu has pulled away from the Hulu series and they are now looking for a new lead man. So as that develops, we will keep tabs on it. And then our final piece of follow-up news is Good Omens. We now know the rough release window for season 2 of Good Omens, which super excited about because season 1 was fantastic. No date specifically, but it is going to be sometime in the summer of 2023. That is all we have for follow-ups. So trailers, whew, all right, let's get a little loose because we've got some trailers to talk about. Tell you what. All right, so first up on the list of trailers is Mayfair Witches, the Anne Rice TV universe. What are they calling it? Immortal something? Immortal universe, maybe? The Mayfair Witches, it's going to be airing on AMC. First episode comes out January 5th, 2023. This trailer, it looks great. I've only kind of read passages of the Mayfair books. I don't know that I've read an entire Mayfair, but I might have read Lasher. I can't remember. Either way, I've read a lot of Anne Rice. Either way, from what I remember from the little bit that I have read, I really dig this stuff. It looks like it's going to integrate very well into what we have so far with Interview with the Vampire, so that's good stuff. I'm digging the feel, the vibe of the Mayfair Witches trailer, so if you want to go check it out for yourself, this is probably going to be a pretty solid universe that they're building on Anne Rice's material. Go check out the link down in the description. Next one is His Dark Materials. It is going to be airing on HBO starting December 5th. It is going to be the final season, the 5th and final season. The first episode of this 5th season is going to be, in fact, 2 hours long, and Lin-Manuel Miranda has been confirmed, as per this trailer, to be returning to the series for the final season. So that's pretty cool. Moving next into Blockbuster, the new Netflix comedy series that we've talked about previously here on the channel, dropped a proper trailer and looks pretty dang funny. Not gonna lie, go check this one out. I'm super stoked about that one. Wheel of Time Season 2. This one's more just a tease. It's a little bit of a scene and a little bit of a recap from Season 1. We have the release date for it, though. The release window, rather. Season 2 is going to be sometime early of 2023. Next, we have a proper tease again from Wednesday. I believe this one would quantify as a trailer. So we have the official reveal of who is going to be playing Uncle Fester. Like I said, we're going to be talking about Fred Armisen again. So here we are. Fred Armisen is going to be playing Uncle Fester. Not in the same vein as Christopher Lloyd from the 90s movies, but kind of in the same vein as the actor from the original TV series, which is very interesting, which makes you think that maybe they're going for Fester as Morticia's brother and not Gomez's brother for the Tim Burton series. But no details have been really made known just yet. I really like Fred Armisen. I think Fred Armisen is very, very funny, but I don't know how I feel about him as Fester. I gotta be honest. I prefer the Christopher Lloyd Fester over the original Fester, the original live action Fester, because we've had so many different iterations of Fester. We had the animated Fester, we have the original cartoon strip Fester, we have the original live action Fester, then Christopher Lloyd Fester, and then I think there was a second animated series, and then we have the Fester in the cartoon, which again is in a very similar vein to where Armisen is going with it. So I don't know, maybe it's just I have to see more of it in action to really get behind it. It's a very common way to interpret the character of Fester, so yeah, we'll check it out. I'm definitely intrigued. We also got to see Christina Ricci in this trailer, though we already knew she was going to be in it. We saw some production images and such a few months back as they were filming, so nothing necessarily new there. Our next one, this one's going to be a reasonably nerdy segment, but our next trailer is Velma. We finally got the Mindy Kaling showrun and voiced Velma teaser trailer, not a proper trailer just yet, but is definitely a teaser trailer that is, wow, I feel like doesn't know exactly where it's going. Though it thinks that it's being edgy and I don't know, man. I think that when it comes to this Velma trailer, and I'm not going to get too deep into this because, like I said, we're going to do a reasonably nerdy segment on this on the Clips channel on the YouTube. But yeah, so there is a point being missed about what the community wants, what the nerd community wants out of a thing that they hold dear. And also how that is interpreted by people who are not part of that community, because obviously nobody involved with this show understands the Scooby-Doo community because, yeah. Like I said, we're going to get into it in a separate video, in a separate thing. We'll get there, but the trailer's come out. It's worth a watch. It's only like a minute and a half long, I think. It's not really a trailer, like I said. It's more of a tease, but yeah. Okay, so moving right along, we have the new Picard trailer that sees a lot of the Next Generation cast in cameo roles, and I'm digging it. I'm digging the return of Michael Dorn. I'm digging the return of Brent Spiner. I'm digging all of this stuff. So yeah, go check out the Picard trailer for sure. Season 3, and again, the final season for Picard begins airing February 16th of 2023. Our next trailer is also Star Trek related. It is Star Trek Discovery. We got the new trailer for that one. 2023 at some point. We don't have an exact time, just know that it's coming out sometime next year on Paramount Plus, as it has for the last, I believe, 4 seasons? Am I into season 5? Are we that far behind on Picard or on Discovery? Next is, oh my god, next is the goofiest probably trailer we've got for this entire episode, and that is Doom Patrol Season 4. It comes out December 8th. We got singing butts in the house, ladies and gentlemen, singing butts in this trailer. Just proof that this is kind of this is where you want to go with your interpretation. This show, I don't think I've seen much, if any, negativity directed at the Doom Patrol show. It's just, it hits all the right notes, save for how they dealt with Batman specifically. I don't know, but that was Titans. So yeah, Doom Patrol, I don't think I've heard anything bad about it. Only Titans. So yeah. Speaking of Titans, we also got a Titans trailer. Technically, we got two. We got the trailer from New York Comic Con and then another teaser from HBO Max dealing with specifically Mother Mayhem, so that's pretty freaking awesome. Both of those links are down in the description. Titans Season 4 is November 3rd, once again on HBO Max. Then we got Yellowstone is coming back with another trailer. This is also the final season for that series. Also, season 5 will be November 13th with a 2-hour season premiere. Yellowstone is a weekly show after that. Next, we have The Peripheral. This one I'm super stoked about, and I totally forgot that we had talked about this previously until I watched the trailer and went, oh yeah, William Gibson's new book got turned into a series starring Chloe Grace Moretz, and it's coming out soon. The launch of The Peripheral is October 21st. Also very noteworthy is the showrunners here, Jonathan Nolan and his wife Lisa Joy, whom, if you remember, were also the ones that brought us Westworld. Now, think what you will about Westworld, it was very well done. And if you're basing this on the godfather of cyberpunk's work, then there's nothing, in my mind anyway, that can go wrong. Super excited about that. Go check out this trailer. You will be as well. Next one is, where did we leave off? I apologize. Mythic Quest, rather. Mythic Quest, starring Robert McElhenney, and I believe he's also a producer and potentially showrunner. Season 3, November 11th, Apple TV Plus. Again, does its job, gets me interested, want to watch this show. Now I'm 3 seasons behind, so I've got a lot of catching up to do, but I'm going to catch up on It's Always Sunny first, I'm not going to lie. And then Wolfpack, again, more stuff. This one's actually a season premiere, or series rather, premiere. This is the spin-off from Teen Wolf. It comes out January 23rd on Paramount Plus. It is also the same day that the new Teen Wolf movie launches on the streaming platform. And then I believe that brings us to the end of all the trailers. Like I said, trailers. So that we have one piece of news when it comes to TV streaming, and this one honestly could have gone into movies, but we're putting it here because Murder, She Wrote was a show that I watched an embarrassing amount of, and Angela Lansbury, this, I know I hate going out of the section on a down note, but that's kind of how it played out this time. So Angela Lansbury sadly has passed away just a week before her 97th birthday. Lansbury, again, was in Murder, She Wrote. She's done a number of things, won so many accolades throughout the course of her career. She is a titan in the industry, and she will definitely be missed. No cause of death has been released for her just yet. It is just known that she did pass in her sleep in comfort, presumably, I believe is how the press release read. So let's take a moment for Angela Lansbury. That brings us to the only thing we have left in TV streaming, which is TV streaming suggestion. This TV streaming suggestion is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We are honoring Sarah Michelle Gellar is in the new Wolfpack series, so her supernatural roots are Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and this series is a great watch. I honestly have rewatched through it in the last 2 years twice, and it's nonstop fun all the way from to back. If you don't feel like watching the entire series, though, up to about season 5 is where the quality starts to plateau. It doesn't ever really dip much, but it definitely plateaus around about season 5. So that is your suggestion for the week. Once again, this has been just a brief segment from the larger episode that has been posted over on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. Go over there for the long form content, or just subscribe here if you want it in bite-sized chunks. Thank you very much for joining me, nerds. We'll see you in the next one. Before we go though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.